I think we're live. Welcome to BS session 142. Any opportunity you get a chance to talk to someone smarter than you is always an opportunity you need to take.
That's pretty much every day for me.
Because I have a shotgun and rifle that I use for, and 22 gauge that I use for ptarmigan, moose, and black bear.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS, Ballistically Speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.
It's not a high bar for this guy.
Hey, at least you know your place.
That's important. A lot of people don't.
The problem is they think they do, and they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's that Dunning-Kruger effect sort of confidence that, I don't know, it seems like they're handing it out with birth certificates anymore. But anyway, we probably shouldn't get into that so quickly.
It's pretty heavy in the first 30 seconds.
It is.
All right.
Right into this?
Yeah, I'll kick it off here. Tonight, our featured sponsors are Callsign 66, Canada's best rifle training. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Book a course now at callsign66.ca and follow them on Instagram at callsign66 and on Facebook at C/S66.
And also Ripstone Gunsmithing. Craftsmanship done right. Contact Oscar at ripstonegunsmithing.ca and breathe life back into any firearm. Oscar also has a recently published book out titled Rust Bluing in the 21st Century. You can find that on Amazon.
Sorry, I'm texting a hot chick.
Oh.
You should have done that before.
Moses, if you pick up your tablet, you can read the next ad.
You shut your mouth. All right, tell Cappy then. Maybe if he tries to log off and back on again, it might pick up something different. He's lagging super bad. Anyway, while Cappy's doing that, maybe if he gets that, March Scopes Canada, the Dion Optical Design line of rifle scopes, has a scope for all your hunting and shooting needs. Find Doug and Niza at marchscopes.ca. Right now, there's a sale on a fantastic March FX 5-42 by 56 Highmaster wide angle tactical. It's illuminated. It has locking turrets. Do I have to read this next part that you guys wrote? I guess I will.
I mean,
it's
you can hit the high points.
All right. This fine specimen of Canadian firearm podcast history has the providence. I don't even know what that means. I still got to look that up from the last show. It has the providence of being almost new with very faint ring marks, and the anodizing on the turret edges has a small scuff, I think, that has removed the finish. It's got a mill reticle. It's the FML-MT reticle in it. Normally, this scope would run you $5,319, but for a limited time only, or maybe until it's sold, the price of $4,600 is offered to you. Get a hold of Doug or Niza at marchscopes.ca.
We're also brought to you by EM Precision Rifles in Vegreville, Alberta, building Canada's finest precision rifles. Find Shane and Steve on Facebook, Instagram, and on their website at emprifles.ca. If it's precision hunting, varmint hunting, PRS, NRL Hunter, or ELR, EM could get you set up with the right rifle build.
And we're also brought to you by Bolt Action Coffee, bringing specialty coffee to the precision shooting world. Order coffee and merchandise at boltactioncoffee.com.
Kathy.
What?
Kathy. All right. There was one of the masterminds hailing out of Manitoba had a great idea. I don't know why none of us didn't think of this before, but poll which bolt action coffee flavor does everyone listening prefer? Is it the suppressed, which is a decaf, Overwatch, which is medium roast espresso, Hero Lodge Overwatch, and we'll have to get Cappy to explain this one maybe. It is also a medium roast espresso, Midnight Canoe Trip. We've asked for an explanation of this one, and that is still tightly sealed. That was several years ago we asked for an explanation. I feel a little bit slighted. Anyway, it's a dark roast. API is medium roast, the 11th hour commemorative, which is due out fairly shortly, I think. Or the new Temple roast, which is a medium roast espresso. We're going to have to grill Cappy about all the wonderful flavors. Anyway, send in your choice either into the chat here or email us at info@bspodcast.ca or hit us up on Facebook or Instagram. Let us know.
We're also brought to you by Odell Engineering. Pick up Canuck Shotgun, Bagheera Rifle, and Apex Ammunition from your local distributor and tell them Phil sent you. Look them up on Instagram, Facebook, and on their website, odellengineeringltd.com. And just released is the Canuck Recon 3. Flip-up sights, mag-fed, pump action, and a whole lot of sexy in one package.
That is kind of a nasty looking shotgun, isn't it?
It looks like it could send a few rounds downrange.
All right, next. Who's got it? Am I stalled out again?
I think Mike is.
No, that was me.
I don't know what
I
happened there.
think I'm up. I was talking and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
We're also brought to you by Sterling Arms International, home of the R18 Mark III and the R9 Mark I. They may be down, but they are not out. Stay tuned for the latest updates on the battle to get the R9 back. If you have not seen it already, check our Facebook for the post that Derek made that gives a whole pile more of the details.
And we should actually see a decision from the RCMP about within a week. Because they gave a 60 business day timeline for their decision.
Well, hold on. Monday's a holiday.
Monday's a holiday, so therefore, by government rules, they get another week. So
I think that's how that works.
So stay tuned for that. Hopefully, we'll find out what the RCMP says.
You think they'll be on time? Honestly,
no.
Especially when it comes to
they have
something
other
like
things to worry about.
This is the government we're talking about here. All right, folks, don't forget we also have a draw going on for a full custom 338 Lapua built by Ian Precision Rifles. It's a Curtis Custom Helix action, 30-inch IBI barrel, bloody truck axle on that sucker. It's fitted with a custom EM Precision muzzle brake blended in, special EM Precision branded Trigger Tech trigger. And it all lays into a very nice laminated stock built by Rifles Refined out in Ontario. $20 per entry, as many entries as you like. Send the email money transfer. If you can believe, I had a guy at site here ask me, what is an EMT? I was taken aback.
Right out of initial, so it could be two different things at least.
Well, I know. But anyway, email money transfer to info@bspodcast.ca. And please include your phone number and your personal email address in the comments when you send in the email money transfer. So that we know how to get a hold of you. At least a couple different ways, please. Did we miss?
We did not.
Okay.
We did not.
What didn't we miss?
We didn't miss anything. Read the show notes.
Okay.
Apex has decided to have a really long ad read, so we're putting that in a little bit later to give us a break.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
Commercial break?
Commercial break.
Exactly.
Breaks up the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Cappy, mic check. How you doing there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, actually, you're right on now. No lag.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
You must have kicked the cat off the router there. All right, Cappy, can you tell us who you are or who you were or who you want to be or whatever? And
Oh gosh, I'm still
let
searching
us
for
know
who I
why
want
you're
to be.
here.
It's a
Maybe.
lost cause.
Yeah. What do I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah, retired law enforcement, 25 years. Split my time between the West Coast and in Alberta. Just retired last year, and after that, moved into guiding and outfitting and personal security work, asset protection for some of the big corporations that are based out of Alberta here.
Excellent. Well, we'll start this one out with hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's that time of year.
Oh, it is. It's
the
about 0
most-
degrees in the morning. It gets me excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. Well, that depends on your surroundings.
Yeah.
I'm in a place right now where I walk out of camp and all the mud is stiff as hell, and it's like, yep, I'm going to work for the next 14 days here.
Yeah,
Fuck me.
100%.
Could be crunching leaves somewhere. Yeah, no doubt.
So, question
All
for
right.
Cappy:
What
how
do you-
did you get into the guiding kind of side of things?
Yeah, I don't want to say I grew up hunting. I started hunting as a young adult, and then became super passionate about it to the point where that's my fall. I was booking off all my falls, spending weeks in the bush, and I kind of noticed a trend kind of over the last 10 years where I was getting more enjoyment of taking new hunters out or inexperienced hunters and having them have success. And then when I was debating about retirement from law enforcement, Kerry, our good buddy there from 6'6" and other endeavors, had the opportunity to buy a small outfitting business. So with the way things were going in law enforcement and the stars were starting to line up, we just kind of made the decision to jump in and bought a small allocation.
Nice. So what is the primary animal of
So we kind of have two primary guiding areas, one being central Alberta and one up north. Central Alberta will do mule deer, whitetail, and bears. And then up north, it'll be whitetail, moose, and bear.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So the
what
central
are those
Alberta
populations like? Sorry,
what was that, Rooster?
sorry, I fucking lagging again here, but just wondering about the populations. We can get into that once you finish your thought, but we're kind of having this discussion before the show, before you got sorted out. Ruminant populations around. It's kind of screwy.
Yeah. So, mule deer, I think, are a lot more sensitive. I think they're a lot more sensitive to stress, and they seem to fluctuate a lot more. I'm seeing whitetail in areas that I never thought I would see whitetail. So our mule deer hunts are alpine mule deer hunts, and we are seeing whitetail damn near close to the alpine with the mule deer now.
Oh, shit.
They're doing very well, and mule deer are kind of, I think, getting pushed out.
Interesting.
I always found that to be strange. When I was a kid, we always had whitetails around and never knew anything about mule deer because they were traditionally a southern animal, or so we thought at that time. And then we started seeing mule deer come in around our area, and that mule deer population just flourished like crazy. And the concentration of whitetails seemed to disperse quite quickly. We were always under the impression that mule deer must have been more aggressive animals than whitetails. Years later, I talked to a biologist, a wildlife biologist, and he told me it was the opposite. I don't know. I know that around our area, out around Saskatoon, man, it is depressing, the deer period population. Elk aren't doing too bad. I've seen higher populations, mind you. Around that area, there's not much for elk ever. since Europeans got here, I guess. But there are a few very small pods around here and there. Moose, we've seen for the last, I don't know, 20 years, quite a few moose come down into the cropland. But they're getting kind of skinny now too. But the deer themselves, the mule and whitetail, it is, like I say, terribly depressing around home.
Yeah, it's the kind of the southeast portion of Alberta, definitely, and then now kind of Calgary south. Tags are getting a lot easier to get, so that tells me they're trying to lower the population. I'm going to guess because of CWD, they want to lower the density and see if they can do something or do some more research to figure out how we just live with it because it's not going anywhere. And then where we hunt up north, a good friend of mine grew up, born and raised there. We're seeing mule deer along the river valleys all the way up to Peace River and further north now, where you never saw them before. We never saw elk up there. I shot one of the very first elk he ever saw probably about 20 years ago now. He'd never seen elk growing up. And now we're shooting elk every year in there. So I think they're adjusting and expanding into different areas while other areas kind of retract.
Same with the antelope. I've noticed they're moving really far north.
Yes, they're like Edmonton north now in Alberta.
Yeah, we've seen
What?
reports of Leduc
Really?
area.
Yeah.
Wonder why the hell that is.
Well, I don't think our winters are as long. Like I always track when the snow falls based on the deer hunt, and it seems to always be a week later. And then it's kind of rotating to the right downrange. It seems winter starts a little bit later and lasts a little bit longer in the spring. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, because of course they're very susceptible to winter die-off.
Right. I don't know much about pronghorns, honestly. Are they? Do they travel a lot? Like, are they kind of? What would you call that? Semi-migratory? Like, do they wander big areas, or do they just kind of stick around home? Like,
I think just on the way they're almost nomadic with the winter. So as the snow starts falling, they're almost like birds. They just start migrating further and further south to get away from the snow. So they'll free range to the north while the crops are clear and they can feed. And then as that snow starts to fly, they start creeping back.
Yeah.
Their biggest problem is fences right now. They can't cross fences.
Well,
they can't cross them well. I've seen them do a Pete Rose front baseball slide under barbed wire pretty slick.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but for the most part, they're not a big fan of barbed wire. I've seen a few eat it.
Yeah, I think there's they take away that lower wire just so they can migrate, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we certainly don't have many of them around down around Swift Current and further south areas like that. Kind of traditionally had all the antelope. We do get some around home, but they're pretty sparse. So I don't know a hell of a lot about them at all.
We got Steve chiming in the chat here. Says I've seen antelope up north by Glendon.
Wow.
I'm assuming he's meaning like the Glendon, like the town with the pierogi, that's far north. If he's not far north of Glendon, it turns into bush.
The tree line.
Yeah,
it's tree line after the Glendon.
It's basically tree line and skeg after that on that part of the province. So yeah, you go 45 minutes north an hour north of Glendon. It's no more open fields. So
is that right? Wow. Derek, I want to know, do you have like the pierogi map of Alberta? It's like
I probably do.
Oh, David, that's where that pierogi is there, eh?
As someone who lived close to Glendon, I know a thing or two about pierogies and where to find
pierogi
them.
festival.
Yes.
Yeah, shit. So when does your season start then, Cappy, for your outfitting?
So obviously spring bear. So April, May, we'll guide for black bears. We'll go on a tangent about grizzlies. We'll talk about that in a bit and the problems that we're having with them. And then after spring bear, we will start as early as that last week of August. And this is kind of what we like to do is we like to tailor the hunt to what the individual wants. So if somebody wants to have that backcountry experience up in the Alpine, we'll push them to come out earlier in the season. And we're going to climb high. We're going to go up into the Alpine. We're going to be glassing sheep at the same time that we're glassing mule deer. And we'll make a play on deer. Rifle starts typically second week of September, kind of around that September 17th mark. If they want a bow hunt, we'll go after them with bows. But we'll typically push them for that opening day of rifle hunt up into the Alpine. From there, we will guide moose in October up north. Carrie just guided all last week, was successful on some moose up there. And then November, we will either bring them back out for mule deer and have the snow push them back down. We'll wait for that deep snow to push the big deer down, and we'll chase whitetails as well, both up north and in central Alberta.
Carrie shared a few photos with me last week about some of the moose. I said to him, "How come all the pictures are in the dark? You freaking poacher!" Operation, you're out of there.
He's got the 50,000 lumen pit lamp. Yeah, they were hunting rivers and they were staying right out for the last minute. Of course, that's when they were getting
That's
their
when they pop out.
15 minutes of light.
Yeah.
And when you shoot a
Kind of
moose,
funny.
2 hours of dark, you're going to be out in the dark.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah. The
Kind of
dark
funny.
comes fast.
Made me think of my old guiding days up in the Yukon. When you said, Cappy, that you kind of got to a point where you enjoyed taking other people out and watching them hunt and take an animal. I find it personally humorous that I used to guide in the Yukon for moose. And I used to go hunting moose around here with my buddies, well, back before domestication, especially, I guess, but never once have I killed a moose myself. I've always been the guy
really?
called, or yes, never once. How stupid is that, hey?
I'm trying to think. I think
But
I may have
I'm the
only shot
very same way.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I've only shot 2 or 3 myself personally. I've shot quite a few elk, but I think only 2 or 3 moose
All right.
myself.
I
do
think
get a
elk
lot of
taste better.
satisfaction out of I guess.
Well, and they're such a
guiding.
fun animal to call.
Oh, elk does taste better.
Because they come in looking for a fight, especially during
yes.
bow season. When you get one that comes in, he doesn't want to back off, and it's not the moose you want, and you're still yelling, "Hey, get away from here!"
Yeah.
You know, dude. Like, nope, coming in for a fight. Let's do this.
Right. Get the hell out of here.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's go time.
He's
So,
drooling away just like you used to do in the bar when you were 18.
yeah.
I came to do 2 types of effing.
I mean,
And the second one is fighting.
that's right.
And the first one doesn't come as easy anymore.
No. So yeah, it's super fun. Yeah, and I enjoy calling those in, and then I could kind of take it or leave it shooting one myself anymore.
Mm.
I'll still sit out there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, silly. Eh?
So up north,
What
what is
must
the
be that
area?
old
What methods
father
are you using to
get
get
us.
around?
So that we're up in the boreal forest up north. So it's not the most striking of terrain. It's very difficult terrain to hunt. It it's kind of rolling mounds. I wouldn't even call them hills, and then bogs. So we're hunting a lot of pipeline right of ways. We're hunting a lot of cut blocks. We typically, if we're going to go in with an off-highway vehicle, you're pretty much having to use an Argo. Because if the ground's not frozen, you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So we will Argo back into some exclusive territory, and then we'll get on foot up onto the ridges or up into the cut blocks. For whitetail, a lot of it's patterning the deer, and Rooster, you can probably appreciate this, the amount of ass time you have to put in on a big buck, because you can't go in after these deer. because the trees are 6 inches apart, and there's no way you're being quiet. So you have to put the ass time in
bugs in
watching
your
a
nose.
spot. Yeah. Moose is obviously calling, so we're calling out over the cut blocks. We're calling out over lakes, coming back the next morning where we just called, see if they're there, see if we can cut fresh tracks. They're a little bit easier to go after, I find, just because of the country that they're in, to make direct approaches. So it's kind of more calling. That being said, I'm still a big fan of run and gunning for rattling. So if you do have some severe attention deficit disorder and the inability to sit, I will take you into some likely spots, and we will run and gun rattle, at least to provide some entertainment. And it's still successful. During the rut, the one thing I can say about that territory that we hunt, the density of mature bucks is like nothing I've ever seen. It doesn't mean that there's a 200-inch buck around every corner, but I can honestly say you're going to have a chance at something over 150 into the 160s. You'll see one for sure. And so during the rut, they're going pretty hard, and running and gunning is fun. But so that's kind of the two methods that we'll hunt them. Down south, it's a little bit. We're into the mountains, so how do I politely say this? A lot of people will talk about how physically in shape they are and how tough they are. We've had to learn to temper that.
Say it isn't so.
Yeah. The mountains are a great equalizer. One thing I can say about all of the guys that guide for us is they all come from operational backgrounds. And we've had to learn, we're very good at suffering. We were out last year, and
It's an acquired skill.
Yeah, I saw Carrie shiver, and right away I was like, "Uh-oh." Because if he's shivering, the client's dying.
That's a limit.
Yeah.
So I saw him shiver, and I actually looked at him, and I think he had the same self-realization, and we had to go, we're like, where'd our client go? Because we told him to sit in a cut block, and we're going to go look for some fresh moose tracks. And we sat him in a cut block.
Okay.
And as soon as I saw Carrie shiver, I'm like, we need to go get him now.
Yeah. And obviously you guys are moving to look for those tracks. Never mind just sitting still that's the real killer.
Yeah.
Hypothermia sucks.
Yeah.
Tell me about it, Mike.
Yeah.
I'd rather not, but I just know it's terrible.
There was one hunter I had one time from Connecticut, big fella. He'd there's a lot more to the story, but I'll try and keep it short. He'd played football when he was a kid and had, I don't know how many knee surgeries and back surgeries and whatever else. So he shows up to the Yukon with a bow, and this is a large man. He was 320 probably. Anyways, he says, "Can you call him into 20 yards?" I said, "Well, I've never had to, but I'm sure we can get you there." So the way it went up there, I'm not sure what you've kind of sorted out with your moose hunting, you guys, but the way it happens up there, in the summers, the bulls live up high. Cows and calves typically stay down near the lakes. And rut comes, bulls come down, they gather up a cow or two, push them back up the mountain a little ways, and breed for the 2 days or 3 days that they're in heat, and that cycle goes several times. So when this guy got there, spent the night in camp, got ready to go the next morning. That first morning was just dynamite, but we didn't see any big bulls. I think we called in 5 bulls that morning. Biggest one was probably a 40-inch or 38-inch or something like that, and he wanted to hold out. I mean, first day of a 10-day hunt, can't blame him.
Yeah.
And the second day, much the same, only it was only about 4 bulls that came around. And the third day, there was like nobody. Everybody split. And so I know what's going on here. we got to go across the lake and up the mountain. No, I can't do that. And, all right, well, I'll try and find some places around low that we can go. And we of course tramped through all sorts of bog and all bullshit, and the black flies that are, you know, this big down here are this big up there. And that was the closest, honestly, I've ever been to feeling absolutely insane. We sat down for, well, you know, Cap, you're parked for 3 or 4 hours when you're calling moose a lot of the times. And there I lasted 40 minutes and I bolted. I could not take it. Just that relentless bombing into your eyes and ears and nose. Anyway, so we had a couple of days of that. I think day 5 or 6. I finally convinced him, like, even if it takes us all day, we got to get up that mountain.
Yeah.
Okay. So he relented, and up we go as far as he could get. And okay, we'll park it here, and I'll start calling. It'll give us a better chance anyway. So calling away, and I hear this way off, and you know how it is when you're so hopeful, and you don't know whether it's your mind fabricating this noise or whether it's an actual noise, right?
Yeah.
It's way off in the distance. Like, okay. So I give another ugly old cow call. Oh, fuck, it can't be. Wait a little bit longer. Oh, a little bit louder. I'm like, holy shit. And this guy is funny as hell. He'd fall asleep every stand. I mean, totally his prerogative. I mean, he paid all that money. It's his trip. And anyways, I nudged him and I said, I just did this, eh? He's going like this, and I could hear that bull grunt again. He couldn't. He goes, looks up and he goes, fuck you, and lays back over again. Anyways, he called again, and this hunter pops right up. I'm like, okay, just be calm. Just take a wild stab where that damn bull was. Way down
below.
You son of a bitch. Anyways, we sucked him up the mountain pretty damn close, but he got so excited that I can't remember now which way the wind was going, but I told him, stay here, don't move. I'm going to go this way. So I suck him past you, and you should be able to get a shot on him. Well, he got all twitchy because he couldn't see the bull. The bull hung up. I used to call it my 80-yard circle. The buggers, at least in my experience, they'll come to 80 yards. It's like a wall in my experience.
Yep. Stop. This is close enough.
They catch the wind, and they go straight, circle right downwind you, and gone. So this is what I was trying to avoid. I was trying to suck him past these trees that he was absolutely destroying. Got him coming just a little bit finally, and this guy the hunter couldn't see what was going on. So he started moving, and there's those hummocks or whatever. They're just big grass clumps or heaves or whatever. Well, he tripped on one and just screwed the entire thing. This was like a nice 55-inch bull. Anyway, that's my story.
Yeah, we'll have some more. I'm sure we've had some. People have some come to Jesus moments when they get up the mountain and we sit them overnight on a nice big mature mule buck, and they can't get out of bed in the morning because they're so sore. They're so sore they couldn't move. Yeah,
they pay for an experience.
Do you rattle for mule deer? Have you tried that, Cappy?
I haven't done it well, I shouldn't say that. When I grew up as a kid, we'd do it for blacktail and on the island. Okay. And it would work. Right. I hunt an area west of Calgary that's kind of got both. And I have inadvertently called in a mule deer when I've been trying to get the attention of a whitetail buck.
Right.
But I've never deliberately rattled for them because typically I'm hunting them in more open country. So
right,
it's about spotting
True.
and then working on the stalk and going after them. I was in some broken country, some willow-covered bluffs, kind of south central Alberta, and I caught a glimpse of a whitetail going through the bushes, and I rattled at him, and out of the corner of my eye, I caught a muley buck moving in on me.
He's like, I like that.
Yeah. And
so I have had people. Sorry,
I was just saying that was my best muley buck to date.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I have had people tell me, absolutely not. You cannot rattle and bait mule deer. I'll contest that because I've done it. Both of them.
Yeah. I've called them.
It's legal in Saskatchewan to bait, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
There's regulation around it, but
yeah,
conditions, yeah.
In Alberta, you can feed your cows. Just if the deer happen to show up.
So, best time to rattle. I've in our area, I always had it nailed down to between November 5th and November 13th for whitetail. Mule deer, although less successful with rattling, my personal experience was a little bit earlier. It seemed to be about a week or so earlier, but I don't know. What have you noticed, Cappy, for that sort of?
Yeah, that first week in November until just a day or two around Remembrance Day are always really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then those late teens, I always call it the lockdown. Like it'll be action packed up until about the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. It shuts right off and then it picks right back up again 21st, 22nd. I've shot more deer on the 22nd than any other day.
Sure. And this is what I've noticed too, like the rattling and calling in that for whitetail especially, very predictable that 5th to 13th. And then it drops off. And then somewhere around, like 18th to 23rd, say, is when they get heavy in the rut and they're just running around stupid. They don't respond to any sort of coaxing. It's just they're fucking running all over.
I find you get the young ones, and then you'll get the odd big one, but it's about really, they won't come in hard. If you rattle like down a pipeline, really glass the willows and such along the pipeline, and look for that face peeking its head out, like just kind of, what's going on over there? They don't. The young ones I found will still come in hard, but a lot of the big ones I'll find they'll be like 5 yards back, just trying to peek because I think what they're obviously looking for is 2 bucks fighting over a doe. They're trying to see if there's a hot doe there.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily coming in to fight per se, but they're seeing if they can come scoop a doe.
Yeah. The old distraction strategy.
What about coyotes? I've called in plenty of coyotes rattling, which is funny as hell. I don't know whether they're there to pick up scraps if somebody gets injured or just what.
Yeah. Can't say I've noticed that.
No?
No, but
maybe
the
it's
area
my
that I
area.
hunt in, the one area I hunt is so infested with coyotes. You see them all the time, so I can't say it was the rattling.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Coyotes.
Yeah, you.
Sorry,
you.
coyotes. Yeah.
And that's the other thing that
was my first
take pictures for wolves as well. Like,
oh, is that right?
Yeah, we'll hunt wolves. We have a lot of wolves.
Yeah, northern Saskatchewan and creeping southward all the time. There's a pile of wolves around here. I see though that you have to buy tags for the damn things, and I think you get 2. There's regulation around that in Alberta too, isn't there? No, there's not.
Yeah, you can pop them. As a resident, you can shoot one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Used to be.
It all depends on the zone.
Yeah.
Some zones have weird rules, but
yeah, some zones you have to be like a property owner, but other zones good to go.
Interesting.
So is there a lot of desire from clients for wolf hunting, or is it just kind of a thing
Yeah,
that,
it's usually when you think of a lot of the Americans down southern states, eastern states, where they don't even have the opportunity to even see one. It gets pretty exciting when they hear them light up. We only started really last year, so we haven't had a success. We've had a couple, because what you also have to tell them is, like, we're going to transition to wolves here. Your deer hunt in this area is now dead. Like, it's done.
yeah,
If I start calling wolves in, we're not going to have any response to any deer calls for the rest of the day. We're going to have to hightail it 10, 15K away.
Right.
Which is we have the space to do that. But we have a good healthy number of them. We cut some fresh tracks. The clients almost always get super excited when they hear them, and it's usually game on.
What's the strategy for trying to get wolves' attention? Is it similar to coyotes, or is it a little bit different strategy?
I'm not going to call myself an expert by any stretch, but it's usually challenging their territorial response. Being a lone wolf in the territory of a pack, and so case in point, we cut really fresh tracks of a big mature wolf in an area that I know a pack resides, which was odd. So my theory was it was maybe a young one that kind of vied for the title and got run off. We had him on a rope. He was coming in, and I'm going to say probably I could barely audibly pick off the pack respond to my call. And as soon as that happened, that wolf shut up and left. The lone one. He was gone.
Got his ass
pretty quick.
Yeah, well, the number one killer of wolves is other wolves.
Right. Yeah.
So, as soon as that pack lit up, he was gone.
I've had a couple come out while we're just out hunting coyotes. Surprised the living shit out of us. But in my experience, they are not easy to hunt at all. The wolves,
No. Their territory is huge. They cover vast amounts of ground very quickly. It's fine. I just had one, 3 weeks ago, popped out right beside me, came 500, or popped up down the road and came right beside me at 20 yards. Did not care. Just ran right down the road past me in my truck. Yeah.
No kid. You were sitting in your truck.
I was sitting outside of it doing some work.
Right.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That'll wake you up.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little strong coffee right there.
It was awesome to see. It was a nice black and silver one. So, but ran right beside us, right down the pipeline where we were doing some work.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't mind me, just chugging along.
I imagine they see a lot of traffic out there. Then
They do. There's so much oil traffic, oil work going on, natural gas work, that I think until shooting season starts, they're not too concerned. And they're an apex predator. A friend of mine who was a biologist said the same thing. Coyotes will come out and check the road. Wolf just runs across it. He saw so many wolves get hit in the Banff National Park just because they don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Henry Kelson needs to open a spot in the record books for fluid haulers smoking trophy deer.
Right.
I've seen so many nice deer on trail cameras, and then I'll hear from somebody, "Oh yeah, buddy hit a deer with his truck." I'm like, "That was the massive deer on my camera, I bet you."
Yeah. That Freightliner, it's a mean, hard hitting cartridge, if you know what I mean.
Say what you want about 300 PRC, but nobody beats a Kenworth.
Yeah.
Scotty chimed in with in the chat here. We'll get to that in a little bit. I want to talk about that. Get some opinions on the elk. What do you call it? The extra tags or whatever that the government's handing out. But before we do that, Cappy, regarding wolves, what do you use for a call, or just your mouth?
Oh no, I'm using electronic collar.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm gonna draw blank the ISO 350. It's like a $300 collar. It works pretty good. It's directional.
Is that right? I wondered about them. But
yeah.
Everything else is
programmed with enough calls for me.
Sure.
Yeah, I think these are about 300, 350. They're affordable. You just keep them in the truck ready to go when you need it. I'm sure if you're a dedicated caller, just like us with our deer gear, we invest a little bit more, but it's worked. I've been successful with it, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
Good. Brad, oh goodness, Brad Harder. Oscar's buddy Brad there. He makes like coyote calls. I wonder if he's got anything for that would be more appealing to a wolf. Brad Harder, what are his calls named? Can't remember his business.
Can't think off the top of my head.
Anyway, if you want predator calls, get a hold of Oscar. He'll put you Oscar at Ribstone Gunsmithing. He'll put you on to Brad Harder.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brad's on Facebook somewhere too. Anyway, sidetrack.
It's a tangent. We have those.
So let's
I'm doing research now.
Let's talk a little bit
yourselves.
about black bear.
Okay.
What are the kind of the strategies that you use, and what is the draw for black bear? Like, is people just kind of checking it off their list, or is there dedicated black bear hunters out there?
There's some people that are very, very passionate about it. It's fun. I'm not going to lie. I think the hardest part for people living in the city in a baiting zone is maintaining that bait. The amount of miles that you have to put on to maintain a bait once a bait starts getting hit becomes very problematic. So I grew up on Vancouver Island where it was all spot and stock, cut blocks, and what have you. Where we hunt right now, it's a baiting zone. So we bait. And I think a lot of the growing draw, as well as these, the Steve Rinellas of the world that are teaching people how to eat meat that they typically didn't eat before. I'm seeing there's a bit of an uptick now here. Whereas before, like under the regs, you could just take the hide and leave the meat. Now the regs have changed. And that was actually becoming problematic because once you get one or two hides, do you really want any more if you don't eat the meat?
Yeah.
Well, now you can take one or the other.
Yeah.
The regs just changed, so you can take the meat, leave the hide, or vice versa, or take both.
Well,
I like.
You're just
meat.
gonna play. You're playing the dump bear lottery.
Oh, 100%. We like where we hunt. There's no dumps. It's more like the rotting bog moose. If they've been chomping on a moose that's all rotted in the bog, I probably wouldn't really enjoy it. The same thing with the island bears. If they got into a salmon stream in October or November, they're disgusting. But if you can get a bear that's been feeding on oats or berries,
that blueberry bear.
Yeah, blueberry, blackberries out in BC when they were eating on the blackberries. It's amazing. So I think that's the push, and baiting a bear. It's actually, once you're the hunter, it's pretty relaxing. So you go out in the morning, you hunt till the sun comes up and it gets a little hot.
Yeah.
You can go back to bed. You can go fishing all day on one of the lakes. If on May, you can go out fishing all day, have a good dinner, and you hit the stand at 8 o'clock at night, 8:30 at night. Spend the last couple hours.
Yeah.
If a bait's getting hit really hard, the entertainment value of just watching the antics is
I was just going to say that is my favorite part.
Yeah. It's enjoyable watching black bears on baits. They're pretty comical.
Yeah, I've heard stories.
That's funny.
I've heard stories of bear hunters book, a hunt for so many days, and they get their bear their first or the second day, but they have a 4 or 5 day hunt. And I've heard stories of someone just opting to sit in the stand and keep watching them. Yeah. So.
Oh, they're hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, it's watching them climbing the ropes.
Biggest bear you're seeing out there, Cappy.
What's the biggest I've seen?
Yeah.
Not counting the grizzlies?
Yeah, out there.
Yeah, not.
Sure. Let's get into grizzlies next, but yeah.
Yes. Let's keep it on black bears for now.
In the central zone, 300, 350 pound bear is a pretty big bear. Like that's
Mhm.
that's a mature. They don't. I don't think they get the life expectancy up north. I don't want to speak out of turn. I've never really hunted up there. I'll have to pick Carrie's brain, but on camera, they're definitely a lot bigger than the ones that we have in central Alberta.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They get a little bit tankish. They're not competing with grizzlies, so they have a longer lifespan.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I suppose further up north and further east away from the mountains.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
funny down in the
gotcha.
central. I'm finding the black bears are getting pushed to the mountains, and the grizzlies are pushing them out of that prime crop area. We're finding the grizzlies in the oat fields
Oh,
on the edge of farmlands.
Like crop
is
grizzlies.
that right?
Yes.
Huh.
Wow.
You know what? I've worked with a guy for years that he's got a property around Rocky Mountain House, and he's talked about grizzlies there for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's still a fair ways from the mountains, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's where my primary contract is with oil and gas is based out of Rocky Mountain House. So I'm seeing grizzlies
Yeah.
all the time.
Mm.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah, they're as far east. I'm seeing them as far east as Rimby.
Okay.
So like so that'll almost be like that's a straight line north of like Sylvan Lake.
Mm. That's
Oh.
getting pretty close
Yeah.
to the major population
Yeah.
stem of Alberta.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Do I have permission to get into grizzlies now? You
Yeah,
undertake there?
let's open up that can.
All right. Why do you think? Okay. First of all, I guess regulations surrounding grizzly bear hunting in Alberta, because they've kind of mucked with it, haven't they? No. Okay.
Yeah,
That's just
still a
BC.
no-go.
Still
That's
closed.
BC.
Okay. Okay.
Alberta is still closed.
Oh, still closed.
Yeah,
Sorry.
BC, Alberta's been closed for 30 some years now, I think.
That long.
Yeah.
So do you think it's population density that's
So we've seen a big uptick since BC cut their hunt. So this is my theory.
Okay. Yeah.
When BC was allowing hunting, there was space for young grizzlies to move. So even the ones from Alberta, they can move west and have territory.
Yeah.
Now that the big boars in BC are not being shot, they also have a desire to kill the cubs of the newborn cubs. So we're seeing more and more females taking their cubs east because there's no territory for them to move west. So I'm seeing a lot of females with cubs pushing east. And as the big boars migrate, the females have to take their cubs away from those boars. Otherwise, they're just going to kill them to bring them back into heat to breed them again.
Right.
Well, good thing the female with cubs is the friendliest bear that you want.
Oh yes, they are. Well, I point on that. So on property of ours that I have exclusive access to through good family friends, we had a boar move onto the property. It's the last kind of piece of dark timber swampland before all the crops, and he moved and he was fine. In fact, I went out hunting one morning and decided to go hunt my second stand. On the way back to my first stand with my bow, I pulled my trail camera pre-cellular. I pulled the trail camera card, and I walked past that boar at about 45 yards in the dark. And it's comical actually to see the series of pictures because he was on his back eating the oats, and you could see him lift his head up.
Okay.
And you can see him in still frame tracking me as I walk through the dark, and he left.
No,
he left the property. The female with 2.5-year-olds, when she showed up, we had to stop cooking in the cabin because she was coming up to the door. So, yeah, I don't want to mess with it. Yeah, that boar is fine. And he's been on that property every year now for the last 3 years. He's fine.
He's pretty chill.
Yeah, as soon as it's an off-grid cabin, and as soon as you show up, he leaves. Yeah,
we got Christian chiming in the comments. We got Grizz breaking grain bins. Said I'm just by Leslieville.
Yep. So
Yeah,
that's just
they-
east of Rocky.
I at least assume that's supposed to be Leslieville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's straight east of
Hmm.
Rocky, about 10, 15 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've had them as far south as the airport, ripping into honey hives.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. We
Yeah.
need a boo out there.
Good luck getting the government to make a smart
So I
decision.
read years ago. What was that, Mike?
Oh.
Sorry.
I said, good luck getting the government to make a smart decision about hunting.
Yeah,
We did.
It's a
an elk.
political landmine, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did an elk out west, just on the border of Waterton, and there was grizzlies out there. And I don't know why they let out a bunch of tags for that area for elk, because there was no elk out there. Supplemental tags yet,
Mm.
and there was not a thing out
Why?
there.
Why would that be?
I don't know. Biologist was bored that day.
So why did Alberta cut off grizzly bear hunt?
You know, that was really before my time in knowledge. 'Cause I think guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it was like 92, 94. It got shut down. And
Okay.
back then, maybe it was truly a case of low numbers, because all the longtime outdoorsmen that I know in and around the Rocky Mountain House region, they never saw grizzlies growing up, and they're my age.
Oh,
You know, they're late 40s, early 50s, and they go, "We never saw grizzlies around Rocky growing up." So maybe it truly was back then a case of low numbers, but good management had definitely brought them back.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just doing a little bit of reading here, Alberta ended its grizzly bear hunt in 2006 and listed the species as threatened in 2010. So in that case, it would be population related. So I do believe that it was ultimately a population thing.
Are there any campaigns to try and bring hunting season or grizzly bear tags back into play? Have you heard anything?
Yeah, I believe there's a desire to, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there will be a will to push that desire. I think there's an acknowledgement that there is a huntable population.
Okay.
But to try and make that happen, I think we can all on this panel kind of agree the outcry will be huge, because for the last 15, 20 years, everybody's been getting told that they're threatened.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I think that's
Oh,
part of that is a paradigm thing, but also there has been a move by the government of Alberta. So there is something called the Grizzly Bear Responder program, and that's part of the Wildlife Management Responder Network. So this was introduced, I think, this summer or last summer. So essentially, for problem wildlife, they've put out essentially a voluntary pool of people to call on in order to assist if there's like a wildlife altercation, and grizzly bears are on the list. So you just have to be, Albertan. You have to have a WIN card wildlife certificate, and they'll just call you up, and you have to respond within 24 hours. It's just kind of a random draw, and you can keep the bear. You just have to submit the gallbladder. So there's kind of a recognition that they are becoming a problem, and that is kind of a way they've allowed people to somewhat deal with the population and encroachment on humans. So
I see.
So what you're saying is they're not budgeting for helicopter hunts with suppressors and ARs? Is that what you're saying?
no. But if they're looking for volunteers to do that,
Right.
I think that's the first step of socializing the idea
mhm.
that there's going to have to be.
That's probably very.
I'll put my old law enforcement hat on. If I was a fish and wildlife officer, you're going after a problem bear. So
Yeah.
it's already a dangerous encounter. And now I have to randomly draw somebody off of a list that I need to accompany me into the timber,
Mhm.
Yeah.
who I have no way to check their skill set, background.
Yes.
Right.
I don't know.
You'll
I've been in
excuse
a
a
lot of
little bit
dangerous
of
situations.
trepidation.
There's
It raises a few concerns right off the hop. So
I believe the initial point of that program was for like elk going into farmers' bales and stuff. That you call the hotline, they just send a hunter out if you don't want to do it yourself, and then they just expanded it to all the other problem animals.
Like Christian bringing in here, most locals are noticing the encroachment into their picnic area. More grizz pushing east. And I do recall this summer, at least in southern BC and other areas, there has been more unfortunate negative interactions between grizzly bears and humans.
Well,
so,
you're starting to see the grizzlies hopping the Gulf Islands now too, right? They're starting to swim across the mainland. So they're up on northern Vancouver Island. There was never bears when I was growing up as a kid there, and they just had to destroy one on Texada Island.
Is that right? Yeah, that's all traditionally black bear country, isn't it?
100%. And I think it's young bears who have no territory, and they're like, sink or swim. Got to go find some territory to live in.
Christian, he says, guy shows up with a 270 instead of my 458 lot or 375 Weatherby or 378 Weatherby. Yeah, I was just thinking, Derek, when you said you were just volunteering for that, I'm like, maybe you better take something bigger than your 357 lever there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be bringing that. I actually have a working on a 35 Wayland build for the bear gun this spring. That's the
good one. I'll back clients up with my 9.3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The 35 is just a little bit behind the 9.3, but it's pretty much right there.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Well, should we address Scotty's question here, the predicament we're faced with in Saskatchewan regarding elk?
Sure. Oops.
So came out just sometime, I believe it was last week, early this week or late last week, that Saskatchewan Environment and Resource Management was going to offer. I didn't catch whether there was a number that they assigned to it, but cow elk tags just over the counter when they decide to open it up. They have it slated for November 20th to 27th that you can go buy these tags, and there's a couple of things with that I find a little bit irritating, especially for people in the zones where elk commonly reside. One is if I want to go buy a regular season elk tag, I think it's $55 plus the habitat allocation license or whatever the heck they call it here. But they're offering these tags, these cow elk tags, for this supplemental hunt at $30 a piece.
Should have waited.
What are the out of province rates on those?
Quite a bit higher for elk. It depends. This supplemental isn't open to out of province hunters.
Oh, I'm not. So I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want your stupid elk anyway. So it's meant to thin some of the elk out of some of the crop land. And the way I can't remember exactly the verbiage, but there's elk in some areas of the province in high numbers, and they're doing some crop damage. Then the article goes on to read that it's the southern half of the province. And I later found a kind of a marked up map. It is the entire fucking southern half of the province, like the tree line down.
So from PA down.
North of PA. Well, yeah, it comes down a little bit just on the south edge of the PA National Park, or Provincial Park, sorry, and on. But yeah, a huge area. Now, I don't know. That just seems a little bit lazy to me. Or maybe they don't have, to be fair, maybe they don't have a lot of data. Maybe they've got, farmers calling from all over the province that they have some elk destroying their crops. But it just seems really, I guess, lazy to me that, just the whole thing.
That doesn't
Good to
seem
go.
like good management practice to me. And it seems like it's open to anyone from anywhere within the province.
So I'll throw it out, Rooster. How, where was I going to go with this? Like, what's the access like in those areas, and what time of year are those tags being made available?
So November 20th through 27th is when this this span is, I guess. A fair ways after any of the draw season or open seasons end. I think actually draw and open seasons are over by now in all of the province, I think. But so end of November. Access, generally speaking, it's wide open. I mean, aside from some dense bush here and there, but that's
So, because there's two trains of thought. So what we found here in Alberta, because Alberta, we have a lot of late supplemental seasons, and this last year they issued a ton of tags in some of the peace areas, and they're later in the season. And this is just what ends up happening is a lot of people will get excited and they'll buy the tags, but then how many people will actually put the effort in? So what I'm getting at is overall success rate. And then what's the access like to the land? Are these elk on private land? So yes, they'll give 200 tags, but only 10 of us are going to get permission.
Right.
So there's going to be some revenue generation out of it for conservation efforts. Is kind of the long and short. And the actual success rate. Yeah. Let's say, like, even in a good year, let's say 50%. Like, that would be a really high success rate.
That'd be huge. Yeah.
Right. And how many tags are they giving?
Yeah. They didn't say. I couldn't find it, anyways. If there was a limit on it. Now, I can see some stupid shit happening, to be honest, because it's only been I don't know, 5 years or 6 or 7, maybe tops, that they finally brought in trespass laws in Saskatchewan. It was always courtesy, I guess, to go and ask a farmer to access his land, but there was no actual law in place. Now, you have to have actual written permission to access someone's land, or you are legally trespassing. There's a lot of people in this province still not, well, ignorant or not used to it, or don't care about access to someone's land. If they see an elk across that corridor, buddy picks up the banjo and the other guy steps on the gas. And off they go. So I think there's going to be a lot of hurt feelers out there through this BS. I'm conflicted. In a sense, I think good deal. They're opening some of this stuff up. On the other hand, to have them blanket the entire south half of the province, it seems, without some control over certain zones, maybe getting more tags, less tags in others. I don't know. It seems.
I think the difference with elk is they're so migratory, buddy. Because in Alberta, we have very long general seasons. Like, we can hunt elk in most zones, other than the southern zones, from August 25th to November 30th. And then in some of those zones now up in the Peace Country, there are 3 or 4 draw seasons that have almost 200 or 100 extra tags per season. So another 400 tags in that zone.
Wow.
And there's still elk.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is the draw seasons are later. So let's face it, we all get excited, and before those tags are used up, we buy those tags in what do they come out? June, July?
June.
Yeah. Well, now it's January and it's minus 35. I'm not so excited to drive 5 hours.
Suddenly I lost all my gusto.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
you got 5 hours of daylight. It's
Yeah.
windy. It's cold.
it's cold.
You're not familiar with the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they pushed the
Well, I
Suffield
had-
hunts back to January. Was it last year or the year before? I'm like, I'm not going down there in January.
Yeah, it's a miserable place on this earth in January.
Like November, where there's no snow and it's like 12 degrees. Awesome time to hunt there.
And they've limited that hunt down now too, right? There's only 3
Oh, yeah.
3-day seasons, 3 or 4 of them now?
It's always been 3 days, but they keep playing with the dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I got drawn. For
Yeah, you know what,
antlers there this year.
I had thought too about elk, how they are. They get spooked and they bugger off a long
They go.
bloody way. So
Mhm.
so maybe it won't be such a slaughter.
I don't even like Suffield in its worst days when it was a slaughter.
Yeah.
It still took years to get that herd under
Okay.
control.
Mhm.
What kind of hee-haw happened down there? Lots of
Oh,
guys
there's-
show up.
It was a straight up rodeo the first few years.
Is that right?
I never thought I'd have to hear the crack fly over my head, but I heard the crack fly over my head.
No.
You got to
You sign
understand,
a waiver before
there's
you go
no
on?
trees. You're allowed to drive anywhere in the main training area.
Right.
I'm sure there's a lot of ripped axles and broken bearings, and it's a great place to hunt if you put in the effort and get out on foot.
Oh,
It's
yes.
still an
Mhm.
amazing place to hunt.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'll throw it out there. Mike and I typically hunt Suffield, and we'll go to the
If we can.
northwest and the southwest natural areas, which you cannot drive off the designated road, so you have to walk it. And it's a much more, let's say, peaceful
Yes.
area.
Experience. Yes.
Much more, just because you got to put the effort in. It's obviously you gotta be ready to put some miles on, but
Yeah, the last good bull I got out of there, I think I was 6K from the nearest road you're allowed to be on.
mhm.
Yep. I believe it.
Yeah, and that place is like a sea of land. You can just start glassing. I wonder how far that's away. Oh no, the rangefinder's limiting it out, and it's is a 2,000 yard rangefinder. So
Yeah, it's
Oh,
an amazing
they're
place
just
to hunt.
over the next hill.
yeah, range
Famous
find
last
the next
word.
hill.
Have you ever had
3,000
the experience
yards.
of being out there in the dark yet, trying to navigate your way out?
No, we're pretty good about that.
Oh, I used to train out there a lot, so I was quite familiar with it. But it's a very difficult place to navigate in, and you don't always get cell reception, so you have to have GPS.
Mhm.
Um, and the ground is so vast, you'll start to second guess yourself because you're like, I should be at this road by now, and I'm not.
Yeah.
Where am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's actually a fun part about that hunt is the navigation part of it, because they do give you a rather detailed map that does give you some clues. So that, okay, there's a radar site here, there's a well site here.
Yeah.
And if you have a good team, you can actually play really well into that. Is okay, we got to learn how to navigate. Basically, have your hunter and your hunter helper, and your hunter helper should be pretty good with a map and a GPS.
Yeah.
'Cause that's almost half the battle is getting around.
Mhm.
Garmin
But-
701. Great piece of kit.
yeah,
That's also a very unique area because the only hunt they allow on that base is elk. So
Yes.
I remember initially when I first went, we slowly crested a hill just to peek over, and I remember peeking over, and there, like 150 yards away, is a herd of antelope. I'm like, I thought antelope were really skittish, but since they've never been hunted on that base, like they don't even care.
So when we used
And
to
like
train out there,
a thousand of them in a line.
when we would train out there and we were teaching wind calls, we'd put up a wind flag near the target. So we'd be banging the steel with the 338s, and the antelope would come and chew on the wind flag.
Yeah.
Unfazed. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. And that was back in the day when you'd see the massive herds of the 400-inch bulls. And I have video actually from my last hunt of like herds of 2,000.
hmm
It
And
was
some of the
amazing.
muleys out
Wow.
there are huge.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I've never seen anything like that ever.
It's an amazing corner of the earth if you ever get to venture upon it.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've always gone around.
It's a unique experience.
Yeah. So yeah. So
Speaking about unique experiences, I kind of wanted to bring this up, is that Alberta has reintroduced a bison hunt. So I'm actually going to share my screen here. Oh, no, not that button. Other button.
That's not a bison.
No, that's just me.
So
the hardest
for
part about that hunt is the size of
2025,
the animal.
2026, Alberta has allocated tags for the Hay River Zama Wood Bison Hunt. So the whole idea is there is a herd. So in the northwest corner of Alberta, Hay River, Zama City, and essentially they've determined this herd should be about 600, and it has grown above that. So they've recently put out a draw system for that that is opened and is actually closing today. So get in before midnight if you're from Alberta. They're putting in 90 tags for Indigenous and then 45 for non-Indigenous. So basically, they're just concerned that there is the herd's getting too big, and if it moves towards the east, like the wood buffalo herd, that herd has issues with bovine tuberculosis. So they actually are trying to keep that herd in check. So the green striped area here, northern Alberta, that will be the allocated hunting area. So,
wow,
That's
yeah,
very
so,
wild country up there.
Huh.
Yes, it is. So it's God's country. So
That's
no,
that's
my
pretty good. 100 and what'd you say? 135 tags total, or 100?
yeah, so it'd be 135 total. So
Right.
my biggest thing is, like, I've kind of traveled the north a bit, and bison tend to be a herd animal. So the biggest thing to me is, like, you kind of got to know where the herd is to hunt. It's not like they're a sporadic animal. There can be sporadic bison. I've seen them in singles or twos or threes. But for most part, they're rolling as a family group. So I think it's more of, if you're a local and you know where they tend to hang out, I think that's the way to go. But I think if you're going in there as somebody from the south, probably best to forego that tag, at least in my opinion. I'm not an expert bison hunter, but
And is it the late season again?
it will occur from.
What would you even take to bring down a bison?
So the biggest thing, I've known a few who've done it, is cutting the tracks and then running them down. So you're putting on lots and lots of miles on the oil roads or whatever roads you can get on, trying to cut the tracks. And then if there's snow on the ground, you're jumping on a snow machine, running them down, because their defensive mechanism is to stand in a circle.
Yeah.
That worked great last time they got hunted in the early 1800s.
Yeah. So when they stand in a circle and you shoot the one you want, and then now you've got a 2,500-pound animal on the ground in 3 feet of snow, and it's -4.
Wow.
What caliber are you going to bring that down?
Say those.
Like, a lot of guys will go big, but I don't think, because you're going to be able to pick your shot. That's the hardest part, is don't rush that shot. And so, anything 30-06 and bigger with an appropriate bullet, I think, is plenty. I would go with a 45-70 single shot just for nostalgia.
I kind of want to do it with a 45 120.
Yeah.
One of those big, sharp single shots. That would be the way to do it.
Yeah, I've got my Buffalo single shot. Load of hard cast in
You
there.
got your leathers. You got your leathers and your shafts and your
What do you
call the? Oh, I don't mean your side job. I mean your.
Are you really hunting if you're not dressed like Davy Crockett? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
The undyed leather tassels.
So I'm just going to chime back in on the dates of the bison hunt. So it's interesting they've actually separated the seasons. Drawn in Indigenous hunters, the hunt date will be from November 1st to March 31st, 2026. And for non-Indigenous hunters, the draw that are drawn, it'll be from December 1st to February 28th, 2026. So
Oh, that's a wonderful time to be in northern Alberta.
Yeah, that far north.
yes. So
It's practically a tropical paradise.
Well, you got some time to scout at least anyway.
yeah.
Make a couple of trips up there.
Yeah.
So, for your personal hunting, Cappy, for smaller game than that, what are you using for a rifle?
It's funny, of course, like a lot of us, I have a whole locker full of like golf clubs that I can pick, but it kind of depends on the style. If I'm in the tight cover and I'm running and gunning and whitetailing or rattling for whitetails, I've got a couple little carbines that I like to run. One's a little 6.8 SPC bolt action. That thing is punches way above its weight class. I've dumped a lot of big whitetails with that little caliber.
I remember you talking about
especially in a bolt gun where you can load it up a little bit more than the gas gun specs.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm shooting 110s at about 2,600 feet per second, 2,650.
Shit, yeah.
It lays them out, and the gun weighs 5 pounds.
Right.
Invariably, if I'm deliberately going out after deer, I will grab a 6.5. If I'm deliberately going out after elk or moose, I'll grab a 7. And that kind of covers all my bases. I don't feel the need to go to the big 300s. Not with modern bullets. I don't see it. I've shot more elk with a 6.5 than I have any other caliber. I think of my 7, I think I've shot 6 with it.
Right.
But yeah, invariably a 6.5 of some type. I've shot them all 6.5 by 5.5s, 260 Remingtons, and of course 6.5 Creedmoors. I'm a big fan of moderate bullets. Moderate weight bullets doing moderate speeds.
Right.
My 7's a little bit of a different cat. It's a 7 Sherman Short. It's kind of my long range gun. So I do have to go to a premium bullet. Like I shoot a 160 CX because it's humming in at 2950, 3000.
Right.
So other than that, though, Creedmoor with a 140, 260 with a 140, something like that.
Are you a choosy person when it comes to bullets? Are you a monolithic guy? Are you cuff and core? Are you? To me, 100%. If there's we'll go off. You're going to get my propeller head going now on terminal ballistics because that's my background. That's what we're like. That's what's talking to people smarter than us.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time working in ballistic labs and shooting thousands of rounds into gel. For me, it's about impact velocity. So what's my predictable velocity on impact? And that is going to decide what bullet I shoot. So with your standard 6.5s, there's nothing wrong with a standard cup and core 140 grain. They're going to be doing 2,700 feet per second. You're fine. If you like to weigh down to like a 130 or a 120, and now you're up at that 2,900 feet per second mark, I would strongly suggest you go to a bonded or a monolithic, especially if you think you're going to bump something close. The flip side of that is if you're using that same bullet and you're expecting 500, 600 yard shots, be very aware that your terminal impact velocity is going to be below the threshold for expansion. Or you're going to be creeping right up to that minimum threshold, and you're going to get a pencil hole. So match your impact velocity. I really like the old bonded bullets, whether it's an AccuBond or something like that. Kind of, I think is a really good balance. The new Hornady CXs, I'm a big fan of. They seem to expand at a lower velocity, and I've always been able to get them to shoot really, really well.
I was about to say, I actually just loaded up some 130 CXs for my 6.5 PRC. For elk.
I think that's a fantastic bullet in a 6.5.
Yeah, and if I can get it going, 31, that's They'll cook for a pretty good distance out there in terms. If I need to take a little bit longer shot, I've loaded up some just 143 LDXs.
Well, even at 500, 550, I think you're going to be above that. I think it's 1,700, 1,800 feet per second it needs, or even I think I want to go down to 1,600. I think you're fine up to 550 meters.
Yeah,
At that velocity.
Hmm.
And how often do we actually shoot past that?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then what I would advocate for is if you are going to shoot longer, if you're within your accuracy threshold and the conditions are right, and you're going to shoot a monolithic at that longer distance, I will deliberately break a shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I'll deliberately hammer shoulders.
That's one thing I've always kind of had issue with like the Barnes. I'm old enough that when Barnes solids came out, that and so many guys using them, I found out very quickly that you got to drive those suckers hard.
Mm-hmm.
So those CXs are not quite so demanding in that respect.
Yeah, they're made of a softer alloy. So the original GMX, the original Hornady monolithic, that was a hard bullet. You had to push that sucker. I think it was at least 2,000 feet per second to get good expansion.
Okay.
They've changed the makeup of the metal, and now it expands at a lower velocity, much more reliably. I think that wants to say 1,800. Don't quote me, but it's about 1,800. But I've shot a few deer with it now, and it works.
Another thing I've also wondered too, I haven't verified this, is the alloy changed and the density change, so then they can have a little bit different bullet profile.
So my understanding is the CX was designed to mimic the ELDM for profile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's got.
I'll collaborate that because I've done just some side by side comparisons, and the CX is not far off dimensionally.
Yeah.
So
I believe on the 7mm side, the 160 is supposed to mimic the profile of the 180.
mm-hmm.
If I'm tracking properly, like as far as the front nose profile.
Yeah.
When you say 7, you're not saying 7 backcountry, are you?
No.
If you say it 3 times, Shane will magically appear in the chat angry.
No, I run the Sherman. I run the Sherman short mags.
Mm.
Perfect. I saw when they launched that, and I'm like, this isn't gonna go anywhere. I'm
Nothing federal launches seems to go anywhere.
well, I mean, it's only the last 5 cartridges they've tried to launch haven't done that well.
Yeah, it's too bad because
They don't have
actually
money.
that 6.8 Western is actually a really good round. I've done some pretty impressive. I've seen some pretty impressive things done with that.
Yeah.
But almost nobody chambered for it, and there's almost no ammo for it.
Nope.
And then
So,
it seems like someone comes out with something, and then Hornady just makes a better version of it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, 224. This will be great for all your AR gas gun 1,000-yard shots. 224 drops. Hornady, here's 6 arc. It's great.
Yeah.
And I'd argue it's a way better cartridge.
Yeah, they're very good at marketing. We'll give them that. Yeah, so for me, actually, 1 week guide. Carrie and I joke about this. Is we usually cringe when we see guys walking in with 300 PRCs. Yeah,
I love the caliber.
There is one of the things I do on the side is I will zero a lot of rifles for people who just don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
They have the money for the kit, but they don't have the time. So I will get all their stuff squared away. I do not like shooting a 300 PRC. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Oh, really?
In lightweight 7-pound guns, the difference in recoil between the 7 PRC and the 300 PRC, I have to do everything in my skill set to drive that gun to get it to shoot well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a lightweight hunting rifle, that's a lot of kick.
Yeah.
To be fair, mine's not the most lightweight of a hunting rifle, but
yeah. So I much prefer to see our advice to clients coming north, and of course, everybody hears the fable of how big our deer are, so they kind of get this misconception that they're bulletproof. 6.5s, 270s, 7mm, right bullet, you're fine. That deer's going to go down.
Yeah.
I had one guy show up to whitetail camp in Saskatchewan here from, I think he was from Minnesota. Just really big man, funny as hell, but he was another holiday guy. Like he just wanted to have fun, just big joker and everything. And you guys want to go zero your rifles? Yeah, sure. Let's go. Let's load up in the truck and go to the local gravel pit and start shooting these rifles. And Rooster, you go ahead. And I'm just gonna watch. I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, absolutely. What is this? Brought my 3378 with me this trip. Why do you hate our deer so much?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no need for it.
Mm.
No, and he ended up shooting like 140 incher at like, I don't know, 35 yards. It was just insane.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll take a 6.5 Swede or
Easy skinner
or
Mm.
7 miles or something like that.
What's your opinion on
Yeah.
moose cartridges?
On moose,
Yeah.
same thing. Like I kind of started the 7s. I've shot quite a few with the 6.5.
Mm.
So if you're going to go with a lighter caliber, you have to understand the limitations. If you get a broadside shot on a moose, you can kill them with a 243.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a moose coming into a call, quartering towards you in the thick stuff, and all it's giving you is the front shoulder, you should not be using a 243 on that. So there has to be a knowledge base on the cartridge that you're using for the shot that you're going to be ethically willing to take. So like I said, I've shot a lot of mooses with 6.5s. I've seen quite a few shot with 6.5s. Broadside, they work 100%. Now, if I'm in the tight stuff, I'll run my 7 with that 160 grain CX. It will break shoulders. In the real tight stuff, I do like my 9.3 by 6.2. With a 1 to 8 variable on it, it's it drops like a rock past 250, but
sure,
rarely.
Yeah, it's very shootable. The recoil still manageable, and it works. Growing up as a kid, we shot a lot of them with 308s. So,
I was about to say, chime in. I've traveled Canada's north quite a bit, and I know a lot of 6.5 by 55 old surplus that were prime moose guns, or the old 303 Brett too.
303 Brett. I bought a 6.5 Swede at auction back when I was 19, and I carried that gun with me for years.
I wonder if that's part of the argument of I don't need that to hunt, is because Canada is such kind of a vast environment. We have the flatlands on the prairies, like shooting a deer 300 is nothing for some of us. And then you talk to a guy from Ontario, I'm like, yeah, I shoot my deer at about 40 yards. I'm like, is this part of the problem? Is nobody knows what everybody else has to deal with?
Exactly. We just guided clients from New York last year. The longest shot they'd ever taken on a deer was about 65 yards. And now we have them shooting across cut blocks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like all you need is a 30-30.
Cool.
Maybe where you are, that's all you need. Out here, you might need a bit more.
Yeah.
So for clients like that, have you prepped them a little bit? Like, okay, we're gonna actually set out some targets, or
so this particular group, really nice guys. I gotta say that first and foremost. There's a lot of missed shots. So they owned it. We gave them the opportunity. The one young fella I felt really bad for because I think he missed 5 times.
Oh, Jesus.
I think for them as well, the awe factor, like everything about the environment that we had them in the mountains was awe. They're used to hunting 10-acre parcels of land. Now we're out in the vast edge of the eastern slopes of the foothills, and they were awestruck. And then twice I had to push the rifle down on deer that they were about to shoot because they were 120s, 25s. But in their minds, they were massive. They'd never seen a deer that big. So I don't necessarily think it was just a lack of skill set. When the shot came to fruition, I think it was pure excitement. Carrie was behind the one young kid, and it was probably about a 150, 155-inch whitetail. So good whitetail, 110 meters away. He'd already missed a few times. So Carrie gave one of our 6.5s that was just a hammer to shoot. Lines him up over a fallen down log, 110 meters, Carrie's behind him spotting right over the back.
Oh.
Bear's like, no problem. Just hold it about a foot lower.
Right.
Repeats. Exact same spot right over the back. But if you were to draw a line, it's in line with the antlers.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
So he's out of the corner of his eye, he's looking at the horns, and the crosshairs are in line with the antlers. That's what's happening. And he just put his head down. And he's like, "It's not your fault. This is all me." So, what do you do?
Yeah, he's honest. So.
Yeah, so we do have that as an option with our backgrounds. We'll offer people a full day on a range before we go out. Egos can get involved. No, we're fine. It wasn't the case with these people. They'd already booked the trips, but it's something they're going to take us up on next time. We're going to prove their guns out a little bit longer. And then that's the nice thing that you get as well when you're hunting with us is when we're back at camp, back at the cabins, every single one of our guides, I think every single one of us was a sniper or still a sniper. So you're picking the brains of some very qualified people. And
guys that know how to spot too. That's also huge. Yeah.
Since you brought that up, camouflage. What is the right way to do it?
Sorry, what was that?
What's the right way to do camouflage? Because there's 32 trillion patterns out there. And then there's the guys who will show up in plaid and get a deer before me, and I hate them for it.
So
smoking in their trucks.
Yeah.
So the number one thing
still hungover.
When we used to do stalks. So when snipers have to go and do their rural stalk. And again, like I was on the law enforcement side, Carrie and those guys are military, but we did it the same to a degree. And it's about picking your route, picking when to move. As an instructor, I would sometimes stalk with the student. Once you learn that, so you can have all the best camouflage in the world, but if you don't move properly, we're all going to see you. It doesn't matter. If you can route plan and pick when to move and how to move, we've worn safety vests and still successfully got in for final shots. If you pick your route properly. So that's the biggest thing. To me, it's movement. Deer are very in tune with movement. Carrie, he hunts in his Carhartts. I wear my old grays. I don't wear a lot of camo. In fact, all the guys posted their pictures of my hunting crew that are just coming back this week. All Carhartt pants and hoodies.
I stopped really attempting to wear camo. I got to say, for the past, 15 years anyways, most of the hunting I've done is coyote hunting. And I mean, you've got to be pretty switched on if you're going to sit and call coyotes. But you know what? I used to wear the face mask and all that kind of stuff. And through the years, I got to wear like just the insulated bib overalls, good comfy jacket or bunny hug underneath, hoodie underneath and whatever. And not a bright hat, but limit your movement, have something out in front of you to break up your outline, basically. Shut the fuck up and call.
Get something behind you. You don't even have to have it in front of you. If you can get something on your backdrop so you're not silhouetted.
You bet,
you're fine.
I'm old and broken, so I have to lean against something. So all the time there's something behind me.
I'll tell you about my last coyote stand. It was a like a big tire off of like a silage wagon that was had got an antler through it and was just kind of tossed to the side of the line. So I actually just huddled down in the tire. I had a black hoodie on anyways and had my rifle resting up on the edge of the tire and just sat in there, and that was my coyote stand. I was just part of the tire. So
that's urban sniping right there. Find a jump button and go hide in it.
Isn't there something that's like there's three triangles that the human body has that like there's your head and I heard something about triangles once you're trying to camouflage yourself.
So it's about your shape, our eye, but that's now you're trying to defeat a human eye. So, and I can go into the whole theory of how our brain works on recognition, how I can just glance at the screen and I can tell that that's a human there, and you're just trying to defeat that.
Okay. I just noticed, I just heard something about triangles and camouflage. I'm sure they're related somehow.
Since we're talking about the camouflage kind of myths and busting, what about scent and scent control? What are your thoughts on that?
So I think it really depends on where you're hunting and how much pressure that they have. So, you know, the area that I work in, there's people 24/7 out in the woods. What it will do is it'll change the pattern of travel, is what I find. I find that if they see and smell you, it's the, you know, sight, smell, and sound. If you breach 2 of those, they're gone. If you breach 1 of those, they'll skirt around you. So that if they smell you, they'll just find a route to get around you. They won't necessarily spook. If they see and smell you, they're taking off. Now, as you get into higher pressure areas where guys are actually getting out of their trucks and going into the woods, that may change. Because again, talking to Americans, if you don't have scent discipline in those 10-acre farms where every second tree you see blaze orange, your hunt's done. They're onto a different farm.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, where I'm working, where it's the oil patch, the guys are in their trucks, they're running machinery, that's normal. If I get out of my truck and I go into the bush and I start making noise, that's not normal.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends the kind of the how and where it happens. Because I've gone at night, just go for a little quick walk into the mature timber and sit there as guys are working on oil rigs or on pump jacks and what have you. And that deer is cruising like it doesn't care. And the wind is 100% downrange or downwind from that oil lease. And there's 2 smelly oil workers there working away and it doesn't care.
Yeah, they got all kinds of chemicals out too. They're making a big stink.
So it's the normal.
Crude oil as a scent killer, and then a little Bluetooth of an oil rig running in the background is the new way to hide yourself in the woods.
Well, Rooster, you might be able to speak to this. How, like, when you're trying to be quiet versus just walking sometimes.
Yeah. Oh,
humans can't be quiet. Like when I've had elk coming in to a call, sometimes making more noise is better than trying to be quiet.
Yep, for sure. Especially if you got them hooked to the call, it's natural that there's going to be some leaves rustling. That elk thinks that there's somebody out there challenging, or a cow out there hot and bothered. She wants to be bred. She's going to be moving around, so rustle some leaves around. Same thing with moose. If you practice this, you call them and you get an answer or whatever, you start scraping a tree or some willows or some damn thing. He expects that. But if you're, and let's face it, 9.9 times out of 10, you're trying to be sneaky, you're going to fail anyway. It's going to be that little twig that you'll snap or whatever, and you think you've ruined everything, but quite often you don't, depending on what behavior you're trying to present, I guess. So, yep, for sure. Kind of makes me giggle talking about scent, because I remember up in the Yukon, like you're out in that goddamn bush for 3 weeks not bathing. It's kind of the least of your worries, your bug worries. But it's not as though you don't practice wind discipline, let's call it. No matter what you have on or trying to mask or anything else, you still got to play the wind.
Yes, because they're going to alter their movement to get around you.
To get that advantage, for sure. If they're suspicious at all. Was that me that just cut out?
Yeah, you cut out there temporarily.
Yeah, we were waiting for an answer and nothing happened.
I thought you were having a stroke.
Oh, is that right? I often get that blank stare from people.
It's not that we
Cappy,
strive for dead air. It's
what's
weird.
your outfitter name?
Alberta Premier Outfitters. So APO.
Alberta.
You guys
Is
got a
it
website
mainly-
to contact?
Yeah,
How
Alberta
do people get a
PremierOutfitters.com.
hold of you?
Yeah, you can get us on AlbertaPremierOutfitters.com. We're on the Instagram as well. We have hunts available next year for bear. It's starting to fill up. We may have 1 or 2 left for moose, and I think we still got quite a bit of room for whitetail. And again, so one of the things I will stress is we are not a we're not a conveyor belt of hunters that come through. We really do limit the amount that are in our areas. So down south, we'll only guide 4 hunters for deer. Moose will only usually take 2 a year. That's it. And then for whitetail up north, we'll only take 2 to 4 as well.
Okay.
That's all. And then you're getting one-on-one guides.
Right.
We'll pair 1 hunter to 1 guide.
Is it mainly Americans coming up, or do you guide the odd
That's
Canadian every now and then?
We guide the odd Canadian, especially for things like moose who want to jump the queue for the draw, because that's one of the benefits of it. But predominantly, yeah, it's Americans that come up. This year, I bet you we're probably 75-25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of 25, you can actually get 25% off select Apex Optics items from today, October 10th to October 13th. You can get 25% off the Apex Hunter, Edge, and the Summit ED 8X and 10X binos with free bino harness and shipping. Use code APEXHUNT25 at checkout. Apex Optics, championship-winning glass, built for shooters, by shooters. Whether you're hammering stages in a precision rifle match, glassing game in the Rockies, or running drills at the range, Apex delivers the edge you need when it matters most. From our hunter and rival rifle scopes to the Edge LPVO and championship-grade red dots, every optic is engineered with uncompromising precision and tested under real-world conditions by the best shooters in the game. And it doesn't stop at optics. Apex just launched the new Hunter 30mm rings and Onyx 34mm competition rings, built for strength, ruggedness, and absolute uncompromising reliability. Had to get that
Nicely done,
Apex
guys.
ad read in at some point. So,
That was the smoothest segue ever in the history of this show.
but
I don't know.
it's a bit of a couple paragraphs that Vanya and Carly gave us, so that's why you kind of snuck it in later.
We're trying something different. We're seeing how it goes.
Yeah.
I like it.
But yeah,
It's like them old
25%
radio
off.
ads from the
That's
30s.
Yeah, so if you want to get a new scope for the hunting rig, the Apex Hunter, she's pretty slick. So
You bet. All right. Cappy, you want anything? Want to tell anything more to the good folks out in Radio Land there? Any of your associations or anything like that? Any last minute hunting season advice?
Make it fun. I think hunting's gotten so serious.
Yes.
And I do struggle with that.
Yeah.
Carrie and I, when we started this business, we said the moment it stops being fun, we're done. The moment it becomes a job. So remember why you got into hunting. It's like, don't kid yourself. I love going after big whitetails. But killing something isn't the deciding factor whether the hunt's successful. Taking my kids out, taking my daughter still, like my youngest is 20. She still looks forward to coming hunting with me every year. It's about being with family. It's about being with friends. Remember why we do this. It's not just about the kill. It's not. And I hope that people don't decide a successful hunt based on that. When you come out with us, it's about the camaraderie. It's about the brotherhood. It's about becoming part of the family and going out having laughs, coming back into the cabin, having a whiskey after, and having stories told and catching up. And our goal is to never have to advertise and just have repeat customers, because we want to have friends with everybody that comes through.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
You bet. I believe it was you that told me years ago Go with a plan. Go with a plan.
Yeah. Go with a plan. Go with an objective. Why do you want to be there?
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, man. All right. Get into the last part of this.
Say the words, Rooster.
You
got
guys
this.
good? Close out?
I think we got her. No.
All right.
Thanks for coming
If
on,
you haven't
Cappy.
already,
No, thanks, Chappy.
check out the show.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I lagging that bad again?
You are
You're
lagging. Just a scooch.
Oh my God. Okay. In the next 5 minutes sometime, I'm going to do this, okay?
You got this.
All right. Check us out at facebook.com/BS podcast. Leave a review. Let us know how we're doing. Also, if you like the content, leave a like on the page and share. Email us with any questions you might have. We'd love to hear from you. info@bspodcast.ca. And finally, a massive shout out to all of our sponsors. Without these guys and gals, we wouldn't have a show to do this in the first place. That's Shane and Steve with EM Precision Rifles, Miles, Carey, and Cappy with call sign 66, Duncan and Rob at Both Action Coffee, and also Cappy and Carey. Phil Odell at Odell Engineering, Doug and Isa with Mark Scopes Canada, Vanya and Carly with Apex Optics, Oscar with Ripstone Gunsmithing. Don't forget to check out Trophy Country Calls. That's Brad Harder, good buddy of Oscar. J.R. Cox with Sterling Arms International. Thank you all an immeasurable amount. Thank you, everybody, for coming to sit with us, chat with us, listen to us. And we will see you next week.
Mm-hmm.
Buttons. Anybody got the buttons? No?
You have the button.
Buttons! Oh, where's the buttons? There's the buttons. See you, people.
I didn't.
But some of these bullets, as you saw, have an incendiary device on the tip of it, which is a heat-seeking device.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Welcome to your weekly dose of BS, the Ballistically Speaking podcast.